G'day guys, Matt Bowman, Outback Bowmans, and the other day I got stung by a wasp. Completely random, in my kitchen. I picked up the washcloth, it had a wasp in it. It stung me in the webbing between my pinky and ring finger on my right hand, and it hurt. And I had a reaction, not a severe reaction, absolutely not in any danger, but my whole hand fully puffed up, it ached for a couple of days. So immediately after that happened, I reached for the first aid kit thinking I'll just take an antihistamine, that'll help with the swelling and I'll be good. So I went to the cupboard in the laundry where we keep our first aid kit, and it didn't have any antihistamines in it. So a lesson there, like as large as this first aid kit is, this is the one that we put in our caravan when we go away. It's the one that lives in the house. Wasn't exactly comprehensive. So I went to the car, and in the car I've got a very reputable brand first aid kit. No antihistamines. Nothing against this brand that doesn't come with antihistamines, but I hadn't stocked it with antihistamines. So I was thinking I probably need to go down to the chemist and get some, to buy some. But then I thought I would try one last place, which is my hiking, canoeing, sort of solo tripping first aid kit. And it had what I was looking for. It had antihistamines, which, yeah, took away a lot of the swelling, a bunch of the pain, made me a little drowsy, but absolutely was the right thing for the situation. So I thought I would go through what I take, when I'm bitten by a wasp or stung by a wasp in my kitchen, but also what I take on a solo outdoor adventure. And that could be in the canoe or the kayak, it could be a hike, or absolutely anything. I literally always have this in my bag. So let's go through the contents of this. We'll talk through some of the choices I've made, some of the things I've deliberately omitted, etc. But yeah, maybe there's some things in here that you would add to your kit, or if you think I'm missing anything, drop us a comment below and let us know what you think I should add to this, because it's a constant work in progress. It's dependent on where you live. It's in no means a comprehensive kit. It's what I carry, and it's gotten me through so far. So first of all, I use this Alton Goods pouch. I have been meaning to get like a red tag just to make it easy to know, especially if I needed somebody else to get it for me. First aid kit's the one with the red tag, but it lives in the top of my pack. It's always really easy to get to. It lives up in the brain, so yeah. But these pouches are really, really good. They're a good product from Bolton. They come in a 3-pack. I use them for, clothes, camera gear, etc., etc. So yeah. All right. Just going to take things out of here, and I'll kind of talk to them one by one. First off, I live in Australia, so I don't leave home without a snake bandage. It is April now. It's cooling down. A lot less danger for snakes, but it just lives here. So always a snake bandage whenever you are traveling in Australia and many other parts of the world. So these are really good. They've got the square on them, so you know you've got the right compression. And yeah, always got my my PLB within arm's reach as well, so I can wrap myself up and then call the PLB. Other bandages, I've got a couple of others. This one's a gauze, so just a roll of gauze just for cuts, etc. You can cut this off. Super lightweight, doesn't take too much room, so probably more gauze than I need, but it comes in a packet. Then I've got a heavy crepe bandage, and this combination with the gauze, this is great for supporting joints if I roll my ankle or something like that, but also just general wound covering. So it's just a good general purpose bandage, and always take one of those with me as well. Caught it. Got a roll of tape. I need to take this off. I don't need that much, I just need a few wraps. So this is good for securing bandages, but also the main reason I use this is to just cover hot spots. If I'm getting hot spots on my feet, I give that a coat of wrap, a bit like a sports tape. Give it a wrap or two, creates that extra layer, stops the rubbing, and it is good to go. And pretty useful for repairing, holes in your down jacket or anything like that as well. So it's fairly useful. You don't need to carry this much though. In my first aid kit, just for convenience, I also carried toothbrush and toothpaste. It's in the top of my pack. It's kind of the last thing I do before I leave camp in the mornings. All right, what else do I have in here? Plenty of goodies. I have a notepad and a pen. And yes, a tiny little notepad. It's pretty dirty actually. And sorry, this is actually a pencil. Sometimes pens don't work, so it's a little mechanical pencil. Just taking notes. What color was the spider that bit you? What happened to the person that you might have happened upon that you're helping with your first aid. And when professionals do come, you can give them some notes, a handover, so to speak, and you can let them know that, how they were when you found them versus how they are now. There can be some really important information that the rescue teams, professionals can glean from that. So it is really good. And honestly, when you're in a very high pressure situation, taking a moment to write things down can calm yourself and calm the entire situation. There's a lot of value in just taking notes, not so much just from the information that you can give to professionals, but in the moment as well. It's a really important thing. Take some notes. I've then got some ibuprofen and some paracetamol, just general painkillers. And I cycle these through pretty regularly as well, so they don't expire, but 45 this year, so ibuprofen at the end of a long day's hike is a welcome thing. All right, now we've got a whole bunch of Band-Aids, and so I've just got a number of different types of Band-Aids, just mostly because I used some and then replenished and I had a different brand. And I've got these Elastoplast. I'll actually open one and show you. I found these things really good for blisters while you're hiking. I'll waste one, but they're these clear, almost like a gelatin strip. And you put that, they stick on, you pop that on over your blister, put a bit of tape or a bandage over that, and they do wonders. So I'll have to replace that. Remind me to replace that, please. So I carry two of those. They're really, really handy. They're a fairly recent addition. I'm sure there are other brands, but yeah, they're just like a blister pack, and they work really, really well. I carry just a couple of antiseptic wipes, just in case there's a cut from on an abrasion on the skin. You can give it a wipe down, just keep the area clean, and yeah, weigh nothing, take up zero space. So definitely recommend just a couple of antiseptic wipes. Quite important. Also carry just some extra water filtration tablets. I always carry my filter with me, but in case my filter fails or it goes missing, I've got a backup. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 tablets. And again, doesn't weigh anything and is just the backup for my filter in case my filter is damaged or fails. So yeah, it's a good little thing and just convenient to keep it in the first aid kit. I've just got then a couple of gauzes, just to put over wounds, so non-stick wound dressing. So if you do ding yourself, you can pop that down, wrap your bandage over it, and really, really quickly you can be back moving again and good to go. Maybe combined with a little Panadol and you're sorted. What else do we have in here? Gauze swab. So again, just additional gauze. Of course, I've got my antihistamines. There is half of one here from a bit of a rash that I had and the one that I took the other day. So I've still got 2 in there. You don't need a great deal of these things. Like if you've had a sting, one, maybe two, and I literally took a half because I had like a skin irritation, and a lot of these can make you drowsy. I recommend definitely getting the non-drowsy ones. These are the ones that the chemist that I went to when I bought them had, but you can break them in half, make you slightly less drowsy, and they can just take the edge off those minor irritations. Again, this is what works for me. I'm in no way a medical professional, so I'm not prescribing in any way. I just absolutely want to say that. I'm just sharing the experiences that I've had and what has worked for me along the way. I carry a little card that came with my snakebite bandage, and it just outlines all of the things to do when you have a snakebite. And similarly to taking notes, following a clear set of instructions or giving somebody else a clear set of instructions can take away a bit of the panic from the moment. Obviously, high stress situation if there's a snake bite on yourself or in your group. So having a card that you can direct someone to or you can draw on yourself is potentially life-saving. So for the cost of a little piece of cardboard, just to give some really simple instructions it's a little bit of peace of mind. So yeah, your snakebite bandage, when you buy one, should come with one of these. Just pop it in your kit. Almost done. I carry a thermal reflective blanket, like a space blanket. You know, those silver things that you see people wrapped in when they were winched up from helicopters, etc. So just in case, you know, winter camping, I'm out there with my kids a lot of the time, and you know, hypothermia is a risk. I live in the southern parts of Australia. It gets pretty cold. Just, yeah, again, it doesn't weigh a lot. It is a good little piece of mind. Never had to use these, touch wood, but definitely something to add to your kit just in case. Down to the last couple of things in here. Carry one of these things, just the little bandage clasp, just to secure the bandage. That just floats around the bottom. And also, I carry just a simple set of tweezers, and that can be, you know, removing, you know, foreign objects from wounds, probably workable for ticks, all that sorts of things. So just, yeah, I could probably get a smaller pair, but these are the ones I have, and yeah, they're just a good peace of mind to have. So yeah, that is everything that I have in my little first aid kit. It doesn't weigh too much. Everything is really accessible because of the pouch that I have, and I think with what's in here, that's all served me really well over the journey. I haven't had to add or remove anything in a couple of years now, so I feel like that is dialing things in really, really well. I'll put a list in the description below of what I have, and absolutely would love to hear your suggestions. If there's anything that you think I'm missing, or if there's anything in here that you think is a great idea and you'll add to your kit, I'd like to hear that as well. So thanks so much for tuning in. A bit of a short video from the Outback Bowmans, but I think a really, really important one, and you know, something that, you know, I called upon. First aid is something that you should never take lightly. Absolutely also recommend getting some training, especially if you you know, traveling with your kids or going solo. There's a lot of first aid kits, first aid courses out there through various great organizations. So go and look those up in your local area. Absolutely sign yourself up. So thanks very much for watching the Outback Bowmans. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Really do appreciate it. Almost at 200 subscribers. So we are absolutely a tiny channel, but absolutely love almost 200 of you that have signed up or subscribed. And we'll see you next time here on the Outback Bowmans.